In the quiet village of Umuogba, where red earth met the whispering palm trees, stood St. Michael's Community School, a place where children's laughter echoed like birdsong in the morning. Among the students, none shone brighter than Amadi, a tall, smart, and humble boy of 18. He was the pride of his teachers, the hope of his widowed mother, and the envy of many of his classmates. Amadi wasn't born with much. His mother sold vegetables by the roadside, yet he worked hard and always topped the class. Every exam season, when results came out, his name would sit proudly at the top of the board. But success, as they say, breeds envy. Among his classmates were 5 boys: Chijioke, Abina, Keen, Ease, and Somto. They had all grown up with Amadi, played in the same dusty fields, and shared the same dreams. But over time, admiration turned to jealousy, and jealousy grew into hatred. It started one sunny afternoon. The school had just announced that one student would be chosen to represent Umuogba at a national academic competition. The prize? A scholarship, a laptop, and the honor of making the village proud. The principal, Mr. Okafor, smiled as he read out the name. The chosen student is Amadi Naji. The hall erupted with applause. But not from everyone. At the back of the hall, the 5 boys exchanged bitter glances. "So it's him again," Chijioke muttered. "He thinks he's better than us," Abina hissed. "We'll see how long he lasts," said Keen, his eyes cold. From that day, the 5 friends stopped sitting with Amadi. They mocked him behind his back, whispered rumors, and even tore pages from his notes. But Amadi kept silent. Weeks passed, and the jealousy festered. One afternoon, the boys gathered under the old Iroko tree behind the school. "Let's teach him a lesson he'll never forget," said Somto, his voice trembling with both fear and anger. "Have you heard of Ogwuta River?" Ease asked. "They say a giant python lives there. It eats goats, chickens, even people who wander too close." "Yes," Abina nodded. "The elders forbid anyone from going there after sunset." A wicked smile crept across Chijioke's face. "Then that's where we'll take Amadi." The others looked at each other, half afraid, half thrilled. The plan was dangerous, but jealousy had blinded their hearts. A week later, the boys approached Amadi after class. "Amadi, we've been wrong," said Keen with a forced smile. "Come, let's walk home together. We want to show you something special near the river, a shortcut to your mother's store." Amadi hesitated but smiled. "It's fine. I forgive you all." As the sun began to set, the group of 6 made their way through the forest path. The air grew damp. The cicadas sang. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled. They reached the cliff above Ogwuta River, its dark waters twisting below like a moving shadow. Mist rose from the surface, and the wind carried whispers that seemed almost human. "Come closer," Abina urged. "You can see the whole village from here." Amadi stepped forward, smiling at the beauty before him. He never saw Chijioke move behind him. He never heard the quiet gasp from Keen's trembling lips. Then, a push. A scream split the air. And Amadi's body tumbled from the cliff into the foggy river below. The boys froze. For a moment, no one spoke. Then, without looking back, they ran, their hearts pounding like drums of war. That night, a storm unlike any other struck Umuogba. The wind howled. Trees bent and broke. Thunder rolled across the sky. The elders said Ogwuta River was angry. Its spirit had been disturbed. At dawn, the villagers found Amadi's school bag floating near the riverbank, torn, muddy, and soaked. His body was never found. For days, his mother wailed by the river, calling his name. Amadi, my son, come home. But only the croaking of frogs and the rustle of reeds answered her cries. Weeks later, the 5 boys began to notice strange things. At night, they heard hissing outside their windows. Their dreams were filled with visions of a giant python, its scales glistening, its eyes burning with fury. One by one, they began to change. Chijiok fell ill, feverish and pale. Abina screamed one night that he saw Amadi standing by his bed, drenched, smiling faintly. Keen stopped coming to school altogether. The village priest was called. He listened to their trembling confessions and said, "The river knows what you have done. Only truth can bring peace." Terrified, they gathered at Ogwuta River once more, trembling. The sun was setting, the water glowing red. "We are sorry," they shouted. "We didn't mean to kill him." But the river was silent. Then, the water began to ripple. Slowly, from its depths, a massive python rose, its scales shimmering like polished bronze, its tongue flicking in the air. The boys screamed and fell to their knees. Some said they saw Amadi's reflection in the water that day, calm, almost forgiving. The python slithered back into the depths, disappearing without a sound. From that day, the 5 boys never spoke of what happened again. Some left the village. Some lived haunted lives. But every year, when the rains returned, villagers would say they heard Amadi's voice singing softly by the river, reminding others of how envy destroys and truth redeems. St. Michael's School built a small garden near the cliff, with a sign that read, "In memory of Amadi Naji, whose brilliance outshone jealousy." Moral of the story: jealousy can destroy even the closest of friendships. No good ever comes from betrayal. The truth, no matter how late, is the only path to peace.